Hello people, and welcome to day 7 of the Wellbeing Essentials, where we are finally talking about movement. Now, as human beings, we are built to move. It's what's allowed us to survive and to evolve to this point. But over the years, we've made movement and exercise a massively complicated concept. And to be honest, I think we've become quite narcissistic with it. For this reason, a lot of people are quite disillusioned with the fitness industry and also are quite confused as to what they should and shouldn't be doing. So why has it got this complicated? Well, from a scientific point of view, the body is composed of 11 bodily systems, and each one is responsible for one primary function. So for instance, your muscular system moves your body or moves things within your body. But the body needs to be able to carry out each of these functions at various levels of intensity or urgency. So there are also 3 different energy systems within the body. Now, when these systems all start to get together, the process becomes very complex. So the health and fitness and sports science industries all try and work towards researching and optimizing how these systems work on their own, but then also how they work together. Now, we've made great advances over the years, but still we're learning. And the thing is, we're learning at an incredibly quick pace. So even if you've got the most amazing workout routine, the fact is every day we're seeing new journals and new papers that come along and say, do you know what we've been doing isn't the best, it's not right, we should be doing it this way. And this adds to this already complicated area. Beyond that, we've got the fitness and health industries that are full of people that are trying to help, but also trying to earn a living. So we end up with lots of different opinions, trends, options, and again, this can make it very confused for people. So we've got 11 bodily systems, we've got 3 energy systems, we've got a very progressive scientific world, we've got an exhausted marketplace. No wonder we find it difficult to know what to do. The thing is, it doesn't need to be this complicated, not unless you want to be the biggest or the quickest or the best at whatever it is you do. Most of us don't want that. We just want to be able to lead our daily lives pain-free and without any sort of restriction to our movement. So from a well-being point of view, we don't want exercise and movement to take up this huge amount of cognitive time or energy. It's one component, and it's one component within a number of components. And what we need to do is focus on getting the basics right in each of these areas. So we need to have an awareness of the bigger picture, but we need to keep it as simple as we possibly can. And that's why this lesson is called movement as opposed to exercise today, because actually movement is the key. Exercise can be defined as movement carried out for a specific gain. That is it. So it's just movement with a benefit attached. So if you were to go out for a walk today with the aim of burning some calories or de-stressing a little bit, then you've exercised. That's it. The fact is, you don't even need to think about the benefits will happen on their own. So movement is exercise. Now, what are the benefits to exercise and to movement? Well, originally, and from an evolutionary point of view, it was to survive. It was to run away from our predators. It was to catch our prey. It was to forage for our food. But we don't need to do that anymore. So there are 2 main benefits. Firstly, it allows us to burn some of the excess calories that we gain from our overconsumption. And secondly, it allows us to work the body and to make the body more effective and more efficient at what it does. And this is how that process works. We have a stimulus, which is going to be our movement. So we're going to make the body work, and we're often going to make it work in a way that it realises it's not as good as it could be. It's not as quick or as fast as it could be. So it assigns some resources and some tools and some energy into adapting, which creates this response. And the response is that we get fitter or stronger or faster. This is it. This is life, to be honest, in its most basic format. This is what allows us to progress and to live and to survive. So from a movement point of view, all we need to do is think about stimulating the body to cause an adaptation which leads to our response. That's what's going to move us forward and progress us. It doesn't need to get any more complicated than that. As I said, all we need to do is think about the basic concepts. Tomorrow we're going to talk about nourishment, and nourishment actually fits in here most of the time. It is part of the adaptation phase. Rest and recovery, which we'll talk about in 2 days, also fits in here. Okay, these things are essential for the response. So there's no point becoming completely obsessed with your movement and your exercise if you don't nourish yourself and if you don't allow yourself rest and recovery. So the key message from all of this is simply to move your body, make it work, make it become more effective and more efficient, and combine that movement with the other basic components of well-being. From a movement point of view, if you're going to do this on a regular basis, which is what you need to do, it needs to be a regular part of your life, I want you to think about finding what you enjoy and doing it. Okay? Find something that you like doing and do it on a regular basis. Now, as we know, well-being is an active process, so that means a task. And guess what the task is today? Yes, that is right. It is movement. So for those of you that are already in a really good movement or exercise routine, then great, crack on with what you're doing. Just make sure that it keeps working for you. For those of you that aren't doing any sort of regular activity or exercise, then maybe you want to think a little bit more about what we've been doing over the past few days. Think about your identity and your values, and think about any movement that can fit in there and agree with you. Think about your strengths and how movement can apply to your strengths. For instance, do you consider yourself to be a dad and have really strong family values and actually be a really good father? If that's the case, great, take your kids out and do some activity or some movement with them. That's it, you've done what you need to do, and you've combined it with all of those other things that we've spoken about up until this point. If you still really aren't sure as to what you should do, then I have something that will keep you going for a little while. That is to get outside and to walk. Now, I'm a firm believer in walking being the key to a healthy and happy soul. And that's in particular walking outside. Walking works the main systems in the body and the main energy systems, but it does it without creating excess cortisol, so it doesn't stress the body out too much, which is really beneficial for us. But then also being outside on a regular basis exposes us to natural light and to oxygen, and both of these two allow us to regulate our systems more effectively, and they also allow us to de-stress. And we really need these benefits these days. With the crazy world and our crazy lives the way they are, we need these benefits. So if you're really not sure, just get outside and walk. It doesn't matter for how long, just get outside and have a bit of a walk. Appreciate your surroundings, enjoy the fresh air, and hopefully you'll gain some enjoyment from it. And remember, that is your task, that is your key for this lesson. Find what you enjoy and do it. Now tomorrow we're going to be talking about nourishment and where it fits into this adaptation phase. We're going to discuss how it is you can get the basics right and how you can ensure that you start to get this response and start to get this progress. If you have any more questions or queries or reflections on your movement today, then please do get in touch, but otherwise enjoy whatever you do, and I will see you then.